The most recent meeting that they had was at Kumite, and Awestin actually reversed 3-0 in winners to take that set. So they're still both playing it very, very close. Literally anybody could take this set, so watch out. They both have played a number of times, so they're probably going to be playing on a higher plane than just the matchup. They're playing against the players at this point as well.
I mean, that's what happens when you have, like, what, 20, 30 sets played between two players. That'll happen, but that being said, even though you are playing the player, there's still the bread and butters you got to stick to. And for Awestin, that's get the big boy off stage.
He has really good aerials to air against Ken that makes it, and really good spatial control that makes it really hard for Ken to actually press inward. So watch for N to do a lot of like dash back roundhouses to try to stifle that, or hard up tilts, which are upper body invincible. Or just when he gets those whiff punishes, which is very hard to do against Ness, but once he gets those whiff punishes, could be a lot of damage.
A lot of damage. I mean, if Ken opens you up one time, you are so sorely in danger.
Worth noting, though, that there's like very specific combos you have to do that are like Ness only, because he'll fall out of a lot of Ken's other like normal stuff.
Because he's very floaty, pretty light as well, and that's exactly what Ken doesn't like to see. And doesn't like to see these PK Thunders either, juggling him 3 in a row and finally able to land. And actually, I'm scared for Awestin equally right now, because that's Shoryu, only one hit actually took Awestin into the magnifying glass at like 50.
And that was like the mid hit. I don't think he even got the strongest hit.
No. strong hit of that PK Thunder. Yeah, eventually that will kill.
Yeah, just the Thunder by itself gets the job done. Watch out, this pressure on the platform. It is so hard to get off a platform that Ness is pressuring like that with the up airs.
But once you get off and you're Ken, you know, you get that Ness onto the ground and you can do a little bit of damage.
That is the scariest thing to deal with in Ultimate that wasn't as easily done in 4 is if Ken sets up back air pressure at the ledge, then he auto turnarounds for the down tilts. Can you imagine how safe that backer is into auto turnaround down tilts?
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
Sometimes when you edge guard with Ken, you don't need to think, and that is exactly the way N likes it.
Watch out. Oh, he was trying to parry that aerial, but he didn't expect the down air, so he dropped shield a little bit early. He was expecting maybe a back air.
Yeah, no.
The mixing up on the timing of the aerials and the time of like which aerial to use from Awestin makes it really hard, and normally it's like a parry god.
I mean, that is exactly it, is that the timing that Awestin lands at is mixed up in so many different variant ways that N doesn't get to take advantage of that amazing parry game that he has, because he needs to respect the fact that Awestin can change it up at any time.
There we go, parried single hit of fair, but had to drop back into the shield there. Pressuring.
You better be counting those down tilts. And also tried to read that roll behind him, but didn't find it. Now he's off stage, and once again, this is exactly what Awestin wants, but damage goes on for N. Now he's got stage control, but gives it up by trying to roll behind Awestin, maybe thinking that he would throw out a tilt or a PK fire.
Trying to roll behind, maybe just pressure that shield with down tilts, but Awestin reacted really well. Oh, that's not going to hit.
Why did he get away with that?
I don't know why I turned into Mario for a second.
Oh, wahoo to that! Down air to get that stock. Yeah, looking real good for N right now to maybe make this comeback. 99%. Again, Ken's no stranger to having rage, but stop up air, that's the ultimate combo.
That's the second time we saw him drop shield a little bit too early on that down air, expecting it to be like a back air or something.
Boy, this is landing
impressive.
against that PK Thunder. It looks really difficult.
Many characters just don't have options against it, and Ken being like one of the characters who has a lot harder of a time against it. It's already good against characters who do have options against it. Normally you want to, like, air dodging doesn't help very much, right? I'll say that in the first place. Air dodging doesn't help very much because you can spin the tail around and still trap them into a situation where they're up in the air, or just trap where you can turn the head around and then catch them at the end of their air
And Austin's already generally preemptively doing that anyways.
He's so good at it. Focus doesn't really help because you can skirt the tail around and hit him anyway.
Yep.
You have really, really terrible aerial drift as Ken, so it just exacerbates the problem. What you want to do most times is, if you can, attack the head of the Thunder with a hitbox, but it's not easy to position yourself for that with terrible aerial drift and not like big coverage on your aerials.
That's why either having really good aerial drift or just really good disjointed hitboxes are really good to come against Ness, and Ken doesn't have that, but what he does have is an amazing combo game. Like you said, even though he doesn't get the optimal combos on Ness, he can still put on 40-50% at a time, and if he gets an opening like that because Awestin gets a little greedy, maybe he can find him.
Man, and this floatiness makes it so that he's able to get out of Tatsu loops from the down tilt. I don't know, if you can't like Tatsu, or a Hadoken, because it looked like Hadoken would probably miss too. I don't know what you get as Ken other than like maybe Roundhouse, and that's a big amount of your damage that is just lost.
Ooh, speaking of big amounts of damage, Awestin has not stopped going into the second stock. In fact, he's hardly been hit by N here. He's just putting on all this safe pressure, and the moment he gets a hit, he's getting big conversions too.
Ooh. He gets conversion off the Crescent, the down air, but it's not going to be a spike hitbox, so Austin's going to be able to live.
Nice.
I'm amazed that he was able to dash in and punish afterwards.
Yeah, that PK Flash has very little ending lag now. It's really difficult to challenge that, but Ken has a lot of really good burst movement on that dash, but speaking of bursts, burst that stock out of life.
Now Awestin sitting at like 100%. He'll die to the next confirmed that N grabs. Ooh, he caught the roll as well, but just one up tilt on the shield. Maybe he was waiting for a defensive option from Awestin. Just gets grabbed.
Wow. Still knocked off stage though. Awestin will be able to make this back, and Em was just looking for lucky timing on that down smash, and now with pressure on the shield, still can't find a way to take the stock, and Nair's out before the Shoryu comes. Awestin may be putting up big damage for a big number. PK Thunder comes out.
Oof, he dodges. That was really scary, but he still gets hit by the head. The Thunder, he's still connecting. What can Ken do?
I don't want to be Ken in this matchup, man.
Ooh, he got so lucky that he traded the hitbox of Tatsu with that. Finds the Shoryuken, but he's sitting at 149. Awestin has 2 fresh stocks. Deep fair on the shield. He still gets nared out.
All he needs is that nair at those high percents, man. Sometimes it doesn't even matter. And it's kind of the thing with Ness is that if you're at those high percents, you're in a mode where one mistake means death. And those percents aren't even necessarily too high. It's 140, 150.
Normally, if you connect that fair a little bit lower on the shield, it's pretty safe and hard for you to do anything about like down tilts afterwards. But that nair, or the fair connecting high enough on the shield, that Awestin was confident going for the nair. And even if he connected a low fair and he gets caught by down tilt or so for trying the nair, the risk reward there is I either take like 20, 30% maybe because Ken doesn't combo Ness exceptionally well on a miss, or I hit this and I win. And he has a fresh stock to deal with afterwards. So it's pretty slated in his favor.
Yeah, Awestin at those high percents can throw out a lot of I want to win scenarios, but I gotta know, what is the win scenario for N here? Because so far it looks like Austin's really got his number.
He definitely has been moving around him. I think he realized that Smashville just was too good of a stage for Awestin. He's trying new things. I think as far as stage picks, that is so unfortunate. But that reset him up to get the kill.
Yeah, and said if one doesn't work, try it again. I was half expecting him to fall out again because that's just, I feel like falling out of Shoryu comes in pairs or threes, but that time N just believed in it. He connected that confirm, and this is the first time we've seen him with a solid lead, but Awestin is going to fire right back.
He is getting that down air and converting off of it like he's playing Falcon. Like, what is going on?
We've said this ever since Smash 4. Awestin uses down air like moon phases, where there will be 3-month spans where he hardly uses it at all, and then all of a sudden he's using it constantly, and it's sick.
Yeah, that's definitely accurate. Trying to use the down smash to catch roll out of the fire, and was able to barely escape.
Not even just the roll out of the fire. That covered so many options in particular that Ken has. Now we'll see if Awestin can pick up the ledge guard. He wants another PK Thunder too, but N is not going to give him that roll off the ledge.
Oh, dueling down tilts eventually. N's able to escape the corner, but at the cost of a lot of damage.
Like you're saying, Ken just has a lot of trouble landing. That time he is able to use that back air to take out the Thunderhead, like you said, but
Awestin baiting out the Dragon Punch. Dashes just out of range and is able to punish with a back air, taking the stock, and now he's applying some pressure. Good fight out from N. Crescent kick into forward smash, especially on a character like Ness. That will connect. Trying to 2-frame, and he does with all that charge, doesn't get the kill.
That is, it's just not that strong, man. But this time he catches that jump off of the ledge. Austin's been relying on it quite a bit.
And N only at 25%. Now he's evened up the game. They are decimals away.
He has the lead.
Yeah.
Let's see Awestin. Oh, that's really good movement there by Awestin. He faked fading back to the very edge of the stage to just at least have a landing spot, then faded right back in to punish N for trying to take that space himself. And now he's going to have to find a way to land against that PK Thunder. He does get back to the ledge.
Great, really low recovery, respecting the back air and holding his ground at center.
Love this patience. He knows that he controls some of the stage. Awestin might have to come to him if he wants to push that advantage.
Rolls behind, gets caught by a back air. He's got to watch out. Oh, he jumped into it.
He has no jump. Wow. Awestin just continually barraging N with those PK Thunders. Every time he was stuck in the air, N had no way to kind of leverage himself back onto the stage and put himself into neutral where, you know, especially near the end of that game, he was playing the nooch pretty well.
What's crazy is normally Ken is the character that like hits you once, takes you to 50, and then puts you in another bad spot. In that matchup, doesn't really do that to Ness, and Ness, once he's able to get Ken in the air, just flies the Thunders around, and there's not a lot that Ken can do about it. He's like a barbarian. When he's raging, it's hard to deal with him, except for when you're applying psychic damage.